are listening to the most original talk radio station anywhere. We are LA Talk Radio at latalkradio.com.
You're listening to Oscar's Guitar Shop with Oscar Jordan, right here on LA Talk Radio.
I hear you whispering. Planning on stealing something?
No, ma'am, we're not.
Plan on murdering me in my sleep?
What? No.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of Oscar's Guitar Shop. I'm Vintage Guitar Magazine contributing writer Oscar Jordan, and I am burdened with glorious purpose. It's a beautiful thing, though. I'm enjoying myself. Hey, today I have the most exciting show. It's full of spiritual insights, joyous, life-affirming revelations, and hot Asian MILFs. Yes, we do it right here. Oh, yeah. Hey, put in your mouth guard. Show me your action face. And brace for impact. It's going to be great. Yes, it's going to be really good. I'm so happy with this episode. It's going to be really, really cool. I would like to take this time out to personally thank Jonathan Donald of Dobbs Ferry, New York, for contributing his hard-earned ducats in support of Oscar's Guitar Shop. Jonathan, you are a golden god and a beautiful man. Thank you. Keep an eye on your mailbox. You have cool stuff coming. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Would you like to be a golden god like Jonathan and help support Oscar's Guitar Shop? Go to oscarsguitarshop.com and click donations to the show. Dig deep. Share the magic that's inside your wallet. That's right. Share it. If you want to become a sponsor, email me at oscarsguitarshop@gmail.com. Oscar's Guitar Shop is powered by Music Connection magazine, informing music people, industry professionals, and support services since 1977. Visit them at musicconnection.com. Also, True Tone Music. Visit them at truetonemusic.com, making your music come to life. And last but not least, Mojave Ampworks. Visit the Oasis of Tone at mojaveampworks.com. Find out what Peter Frampton, Billy Gibbons, and George Lynch are talking about. mojaveampworks.com. And now, it's time. New York resident Jim Campilongo will not be put into a genre-confining box. He's the sum total of a who's who of musical influences and won't let you forget it. He doesn't just talk about it, you can hear it in his music. He owns his own unique corner of the room, but when you enter that room, you're always in for a treat. From crashing Link Ray chords, skilled Chet Atkins excursions to Roy Buchanan prestidigitations, Jim Campilongo creates an exciting galaxy where the past meets the present, art meets life, and twang meets ballsy-ass rock. His albums are jaw-dropping, stunning guitar tutorials with great edge-of-your-seat music, and he's been hired as a sideman on a ton of albums, seamlessly mixing jazz, rock, and country. He's a published author and a guitar instructor, and his forthcoming album, Dream Dictionary, is his most intimate and inspired album to date. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my sincere pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Jim Campilongo. Hey, is that Jim?
Well, thank you, everyone.
People be loving them some Jim Campilongo. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing great. Your show is fantastic. I'm going to tune in every week from now on.
Hey, it's must-hear radio, I guess. Hey, man.
It certainly is.
I just want to give the audiences a head up first. I just interviewed Jim for the first time yesterday for an article in Vintage Guitar Magazine, so I have kind of a head start on everyone else. But we had a great discussion talking about everything, and I just want to continue because we got into some deep stuff with the album and how art meets craft and artistry. So let's just start with this. When is your the new album coming out? The Dream Dictionary. When is that? When is the release date for that?
The official release date's January 21st, 2014, which sounds real far away, but it's basically in about 3 months. So, and I know I'll have hard copy before then, and certainly at the CD release shows in December.
Oh, great! That's awesome. Well, I feel very fortunate because it's like everyone I've talked to about you, they're like, "Oh man," because they're fans and they just can't wait to hear it. And then they want to look for it and they can't find it because they're just going to have to wait. I'm going to review it for Vintage Guitar Magazine, and I got to tell you, I really, really, really love it. It's just so good.
Well, that really means a lot because you're one of the first people to hear it. I sent it out, to my mom, my sister, Brian Dunleavy, Phil Calero, and Dave Boat, and my real good friends who really know my music, and they all liked it, and really you're about the first civilian, or for lack of a better word.
I'm no civilian. I work for a living.
I'm really glad. I'm really glad you like it, Oscar. That means a lot. Thanks.
Oh, well, I really dig it. What I notice about the record compared to your past albums, it's very stark and very moody and vibey. And what we had talked about was the fact that the reason it is like that is because it's a reflection of your life, of what's going on in your life. And that's, to me, what art is all about.
Yeah, I mean, I actually thought quite a bit about your observation, and, I even listened to a couple of the songs this morning when I was going through my checkbook and balancing that with that perspective. I thought, wow, this is what you concluded from this, and and I listened and I thought, well, you're right. It is stark. I mean, and I thought, well, why is this? And one of the reasons that is because Josh Dion and Chris Morrissey and I really developed a really strong chemistry really quickly. And I noticed the more relaxed I am, the less I play. I just completely trust the music and the musicians, and if I don't play, I just will listen to a cymbal or a bass line or just the space itself. And then the other reasons is it was a tough year of a lot of loss for me, and my father passed away, and a relationship ended, and I stopped working with some people who I'd been working with for a very long time, and it's all it isn't this bleak I'm gonna cut my ear off next year or anything like that. But I think a lot of the music reflected that, and you picked up on it. So yeah, it's a real personal record, and as they should be.
Exactly, and that's, to me, that's what art is. It shouldn't be. We were talking about phony baloney. It's not phony baloney. It's a reflection of you as an artist. And also, you had mentioned someone that it made total sense. Is you mentioned Miles Davis, and of course he's known for space, his use of space between the notes, and just great phrases and utilizing space in terms of music. You don't have to keep playing constantly. You can use that to your advantage.
Yeah, I mean, we can all learn a lot from Miles Davis, and I certainly, I've been listening to actually Agartha since, I think I was maybe, probably about 17 or 18. I think I started with Tribute to Jack Johnson, and I just recently wrote this little article for Jazz Times about John McLaughlin's contribution to Miles Davis. But I'm always listening to On the Corner, and basically got the On the Corner box set about 2 years ago, and the outtakes are just incredible. I mean, they're just as good as the rest of the record. And yeah, I've been really just drenched in Miles Davis. So I think a lot of that came out. I think I really hear it on our version of Manic Depression, on the title track, which is completely, when I was listening and I actually checked that song out, that's like some barren landscape. I mean, so I do hear what you mean about stark, because a lot of times in my records I think there is a stark quality, but yeah, this record definitely has that in spades.
Yeah, it's a I don't know, maybe someone else has a different opinion, but I have gone through your entire catalog, and people who've ever seen you live or some of your records, you can play, and you will not, you're not shy about it. But this is very reserved in that. Not that you can never be reserved, but you're holding back for the emotion, and you're not going for flash. And I'm hearing a lot of that. But it makes me wonder. Did you write these songs specifically for this album, or was this part of some backlog? Did you rehearse it with the band? Let me know.
Well, it's the last record I made was Orange, and that was in 2009, which is, it seems so long ago, and I mean, because we ended up putting out a vinyl version about a year and a half ago, and it was basically for me to just prolong putting out another record, because with Spotify and Pandora and all that, it's just really hard to even make a half your investment back. And so I wear a bunch of hats. One is a guitar player, one's a writer, one's an artist, and one is the executive producer. So I put off putting the record out, and it ended up just having a glut of material, because I write quite a bit. I had mentioned that one reviewer said, geez, this is Jim Campilongo's 10th record, and he hasn't run out of ideas. And I thought to myself, there's at least 3 other records I wish I could put out, right now. So there was a glut of material, and I basically just tried to pick what I liked the most, what I enjoyed playing the most, and what I thought would make a balanced record, and So we have two acoustic songs. We have that nice blues with Norah, which I think came out really well, and Dream Dictionary, the title track, which I think brings more attention to itself than it actually deserves. I mean, I love the song. Don't get me wrong, but usually, like, if I name a record, I'm like, yeah, this is the hit on the record. I don't think Dream Dictionary is the hit of Dream Dictionary, but we played that. I think we played that about maybe 15 times, and it was completely different. I mean, sometimes it sounded like Rage. Mm-hmm. I mean, and the version we ended up using just sounds, I don't know, like a Goodnight Kiss or something, and so, in a lot of ways, it was just fun to record this record and hang out with Chris and Josh and at Andy Tomasi's studio, and we had a great time. So, and yeah, there was a lot of material. I think the record could have been twice as long, and I feel like I'm talking too much here.
You are not.
Yeah. Well,
after interviewing Johnny Winter, you could never talk too much.
I love Johnny Winter.
Hey, what? Let me cut in for 1 second because I want to get this in, because since I don't want to move on, because we're talking about the title track from the album, and I have a version for solo guitar here of the title track. And it's a short, right. and it's a short piece, but I just I want to share this with the listeners so they can get a sense of what we're talking about. And it's a short piece, and then we'll come right back. Okay, hold on 1 second.
Perfect.
They love it. Well, I mean, come on, that's pretty like stark, and you obviously have to be in the right state to play that. People, would you put your shirt on, please? Thank you. You have to be in the right state to really play that. There's no cappuccinos for you playing that song. You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny that track is not going to be on the CD. It's just going to be in the iTunes downloads. Mm-hmm. And which somebody else told me, one of my friends said that was my favorite song, and I'm like, oh well, it's not going to be on the CD, just the iTunes downloads. And I did that is completely improvised, based on the melody of the song, and I think I did 17 takes. And they're all different. Wow. And that one was really in a zone, and that's why we picked it. It's just, and how do you hear it? How do you hear it?
It's the centerpiece of what I've been talking about, the kind of stark, kind of moody, vibey thing. It's not a caffeinated record. It's not a Red Bull record. It's a laid back, kind of introspective record, and which
oh, go ahead. Excuse me.
No, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Well, it's funny because at the time we recorded that, I was going through all the gymnopedies of fatigue, because I've been going through this kick where I'm trying to play some classical guitar, and I kind of hear that in that version. Yet, I don't know, I think there's such up stuff on the record. Nang Nang is this like reggae tune, and the first track you played, Cock and Bull, a story, sounds, a bit like Velvet Underground or something to me. So I don't know. I don't hear the record. I don't know. I'm so close to it. It fascinates me to what you're saying and your observations. So
well, compared to Orange, I mean, I'm not saying that not every track is like that, but there's a kind of a universality of like this was done around the same time and it had the same vibe. It's great because we can hear the nuances in your playing a lot more.
That's great, and I wanted the record to be an even experience in some ways, and I'm really proud of Orange and what we did. But I felt that Orange was too long and it was a little manic. And there is a manic moment on Dream Dictionary where we have Pie Party, and at the end, which is the most whimsical song. It's after all this. Some of the things, as you mentioned, were stark.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to hear what you're saying. That's what we were hoping for.
What guitar are you using on that track?
On that track, I'm using my 59, and if I remember correctly, because I know my signature guitar was laying around. I just recorded that in the control room. I believe it was through my Princeton, my Silverface Princeton with the Celestion G10, not loud, maybe on 4 or something like that, and no effects, no nothing. So if I remember correctly, that was an overdub day, and I can't remember how we came to the conclusion to start improvising, but I did, and we did about 15, 16 takes, and I think it took us a couple of days to go through them. Actually, some of them were long. One was really short. I kind of liked this one that was really short too. There was almost a tie between the one that ended up being on the record and this other little short one.
Did you add any effects afterwards? Because it's got this nice shimmery reverb on there. Is that from
No, I mean that's probably some plate reverb, and that would be a question Andy Tomasi could probably answer better than me. But I know I opted for the plate reverb a lot. I had reverb on the amp. We probably combined another reverb. I mean. But it's basically my 59 Telecaster plugged into my Silverface Princeton reverb.
Yeah, that's awesome. I got to tell you though, I watched a bunch of stuff in preparation for this interview, and I don't know if anyone else feels this way. Because we live in this age where we can just get any box in the world and plug it in and get all kinds of sounds. But when I hear you, especially on the live dates, you just make me want to just plug in to a good amp and just play and just forget all the nonsense and just let the hands do the walking and just play. And that's what is inspiring for me to listen to you. Is it makes you just want to get back to just making sounds with your fingers. And forget the overdrives and all of that. It's just great. You've always kind of we were talking about effects, and you're not using the Klon anymore, right? The Centaur.
Well, no, I used the Klon. The last time I used the Klon was on the Martha Wainwright tour, and it was great. It used to surprise me because it was organic. I remember every once in a while I'd get like an octave feedback. Mm-hmm. But not every night, and I kind of liked that about it. It was kind of human. But I have a little bronze horsey, and the last I looked, they were $2,000 on eBay. So I don't know. I may trade it or something for tickets to Italy. I don't know. And just play through something else. But yeah, Bill Finnegan made a great little overdrive, didn't he? And now they're, I thought he was going to make a new one, and I guess that hasn't happened yet. One that's not like the old ones, but mass-produced more, but still sounding great. I don't know what the update on that is, but I do know that I saw a bronze horsey Klon sell for $2,000 on eBay, and my jaw just dropped.
Holy smokes, man! Oh man, it's a racket. I tell you, it's a racket. Hey, I want to play another track. This is a track called Tony Mason. People, check this out.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Yes. Of course you can dig it. Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? Of course. Of course. True Tone Music is a virtual candy store for guitarists and bass players. They're world famous for having the best selection of new and used vintage guitars in the Los Angeles area. Located at 714 Santa Monica Boulevard in the city of Santa Monica, True Tone Music offers the widest selection of exceptionally high-quality guitars and basses. They stock name brands like Fender, Gibson, Guild, Epiphone, Gretsch, and much, much more. It's where the top names in the music industry shop for guitars, basses, amps, boutique pedals, and accessories. Whether you want to buy, sell, trade, get guitar lessons, or repairs, True Tone Music's super cool staff is there to make your music come to life. They'll also match any online price and back it up with top-notch customer service and support. Visit them at TrueToneMusic.com or call 310-393-8232. That's 310-393-8232. Ask for Ken. Tell him Oscar said yo. And get back to me on that. Hey, that's what you want to do. Contact True Tone Music. Wow. So, Mr. Campilongo, I really dug that track. It's got so much going on in it, influence-wise. If you can take us back in history a little bit to your early years picking up the guitar, tell me about some of your earliest experiences and your influences.
Well, I guess Roy Buchanan, obviously. When I was about 12, my dad called me into the living room and he said, "Hey, Jim, you should hear this guy play." And it was that Roy Buchanan PBS special. And I remember it just, being transfixed by it. And not only his music, but, him, like the depths and kind of introspective sadness, as he projected. I really love John McLaughlin. I love John McLaughlin Devotion a lot. I mean, this is back in the day where, I had a paper out, and I used to buy maybe a record every couple of weeks, every 3 weeks, and I'd go to the record store to look at the record I was going to buy, but, in next week. Mm-hmm. So, I'd get these records and really, really, really wear them out. And I still have both of those records. And then there was Cream. I was really, really into Cream Live, Volume 1 with NSU on it. I really loved that song. And then moved up to Wheels of Fire, and that was Spoonful. So, and then a ceramics teacher, Mr. Raffello, used to play music in his class, in his ceramics class, and he gave me a Django Reinhardt album of the Hot Club. And that really, I think I was about 15 years old, and that really, opened my ears. And I remember I used to try and figure that stuff out, and it just, it's real hard. I remember some of the lines I'd be able to get, but the chords were the things that were really tough for me. And I wasn't hip to Freddie Green or three-note voicings, and I remember I really struggled with that. But anyway, those are just some of the things that come off the top of my head. Merle Haggard came, Roy Nichols came a little later, in, maybe my senior year of high school, and then Chet Atkins a little later after that, so, and this is all pre-internet, and, it seems like the Stone Ages now,
Long ago and far away.
Yeah, trying to get information and trying to, if I'd buy a record, and then if I, like the bassist or the drummer, I think, well, I wonder if he makes records, mm-hmm. And then find this out, and I don't know. It seems so long ago, and it seems kind of precious too, Do you
but remember,
anyway,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was done. Go ahead.
Was there any particular artist that where you just had to sit down and you had to like zone in on a particular technique, like your hybrid picking, for example.
Well, no, the hybrid picking, I pretty much. I mean, that's a good question. I've never been asked that question, and I think I did it logically. Like, I did it by myself, and I'm really hesitant to say that because most things I was, somebody helped me or I saw someone. But the hybrid picking thing, I think I just figured I wanted to use a pick, keep a pick, and incorporate my fingers. So I ended up getting this classical book, a Giuliani Classical Exercises for the Right Hand. And I used a pick and would, transpose, where it said thumb for pick and move on down. And I was using my little finger, too, on some of the stuff. I don't use my little finger that much. I was almost a little more ambitious back then. But that's how I got the hybrid picking thing. I mean, on the wah, all the wah stuff. I mean, a lot of it, I think, was just willing it because I before I played a Tele, I played a Strat, and I used a ton of effects, and had a whammy bar, and I got a lot of sounds. I was using feedback, and and then I started playing the Tele, weaned myself off. Compression was the hardest give up for me. That was really tough, and eventually started making some of the crazy sounds that I had gotten through my Strat, through digital metalizer and stereo and all that. If you remember those.
I had that pedal. I had that. I remember that pedal. That was, oh man, me and you. Oh. Digital metalizer, I remember that.
Digital metalizer, they're probably going to go for $2,000 now on eBay.
I see those every now and then. Yeah, those are great.
They were great, and I'd have two. I mean, I used to use a twin reverb, and I can't remember one of those red knob Fenders, and I think those are underrated amps. And I used a 15-inch. The 15-inch one. So I had a 15-inch red knob Fender and a twin with my digital metalizer going out in stereo. I mean, you hit an A chord and it would be like, you'd live 3 years longer just from the joy of hearing, this A, But anyway, so it was a tough give up, but all the music I listened to wasn't like that. And some guy told me once, this guy, it was like something out of Moby Dick, like this shaman came up to me and said, if you use effects, it removes you from the audience. And I remember, I don't know, I really thought about that and assessed it, and I felt like when I did just plug into the amp, it wasn't as I don't want to, this is an overused word, but it wasn't as awesome sounding as the metalizer going through two amps, but somehow I feel like the audience would, I don't know, like I felt them more, like there was more of a circular motion of energy and spirit. I mean, if I sound hippy dippy, forgive me, and that was one revelation I had when I quit using a bunch of effects and just plugged into the amp. But all the sounds I get, the detuning, the this, the that, the wah sounds. I mean, some of it was from seeing Roy Buchanan do these effects and techniques, and then some of it was just trying to get dinosaur screams, out of a Telecaster plugged into an amp.
Yeah, I got you. It just when I listen to you, it just feels very gut level. There's nothing. There's, like you just said, there's nothing between you and the audience, and I can feel. You also mentioned stuff like hearing your belt buckle against the back of the Tele stuff when I'm reading in some of your interviews, and that's all this kind of human wire and wood and flesh thing that you have going on.
Well, we all love that. I mean, that's one thing guitar players have in common is we all love the sound of fret noise and our fingers sliding up, going tink, I mean, all those sounds, I love, I think it's in The Messiah Will Come Again, and Roy switches from the neck pickup into treble pickup. You hear click, and it's like foreshadowing in a movie or something. You know, I love that moment. You know, and I was actually listening, when we were listening to Tony Mason, there's a sound where I hit a chord and you just hear me switch pickups in the middle of it, and it almost sounds like some weird Pro Tools edit. You know, and I was concerned about that. I said, does that sound like a Pro Tools edit? And they're like, no, it sounds like you're switching pickups in the middle of the chord. But yeah, this kind of stuff's all over, and I'm sure we all share a common appreciation for this kind of primal sounds, being guitar players and all.
Yeah, that's what we like, the primal stuff. You know, I want to play another song. This tune features you and Norah Jones. It's called Here I Am, and it's from the album Dream Dictionary.
Here am I, all alone again. Here am I, all alone again. Let's have a ball. This loneliness will end. Lonesome baby, oh how I wonder why. Lonesome baby, oh how I wonder why. There's no denying, goodness knows I tried. Sitting here thinking, there's nothing else to do. Sitting here thinking, well, there's nothing else to do. Let's have a ball. I've got $1 or two. Baby, baby, I give my time to you. Just you. Baby, baby, Let's have a ball. No one else will do. Oh, let's have a ball. No one else will do.
What? No.
Yeah. I'm digging that, man. So tell me.
that took some restraint, you know.
Yeah, it's beautiful. That's beautiful. So soulful. You're a longtime resident at the Living Room, but it is
That is correct.
And that is going to be no more. It is no more. And so how does that affect you?
Well, the Living Room, I think because it's in the Lower East Side and it's getting quite, upscale. I think the rent went up to $23,000 a month,
Wow.
which is a lot. And so they're looking for a new location, and they're looking in Brooklyn, I believe now, because just Manhattan's getting just so expensive. You know, it's kind of Urban Outfitters. You know, I mean, I'm not putting down Manhattan, but it's getting pretty expensive to rent there, obviously. So they're looking in Brooklyn, and I know they're looking as we speak. Now, what does it mean to me? It means I'm going to the Rockwood Music Hall, which is about 2 blocks away and is a, premier New York nightclub, and we'll be there, and Tony Shearer will be playing before me. We'll be there every Monday at 10 o'clock. We start in November, and the 3rd November, we're going to have our friend Nels Klein jamming with us. Chris Morrissey and Josh Dion will be playing in the trio. I'll also be playing there with Johnny Lamb and Luca Benedetti, Roy Williams and David Speranza, and Jim Campilongo and Honeyfingers. So basically, it's all on JimCampilongo.com. And, you can see that I'm playing L.A. December 15th at the Hotel Cafe and Yoshi's, et cetera, et cetera. But the Living Room is closing. It's a great venue, but we all have our fingers crossed that they'll create another venue that is about music and not just about selling beer or scotch or whiskey or whatever, as they've always been. And I've been playing there for 8 years. So yeah, it's a tough one. I hate to see it go.
Yeah. That's well, I'm glad you mentioned all the dates you're playing, because I was going to do that, and of course, people, if they want to, get specific and put it on their calendars, they can go to JimCampilongo.com. Have you ever met Bill Frisell?
Yeah, I've met Bill quite a few times. Tony Shearer, who plays, just a great slide guitar at 9 p.m. before me every week, is Bill's bassist. And so, yeah, I've met Bill and seen Bill play many, many times. We actually talked about playing together a couple of times. And, Bill's a great artist. I think he's one of the, innovators of guitar in the last, 100 years. I mean, he's just such a great musician and such a nice person.
Wow. Well, I hope that I would love to see you guys play together. That would be a great album to see you guys trading and complimenting each other.
Thanks. Yeah. He's great.
Cool.
What else you got, Oscar?
I got nothing, man, because we're at the end of the show.
I don't believe. Oh, okay, we ran out of
How time flies. I have a million questions actually, but they're going to kick me out of here. Jim Campilongo, thank you very much for coming on the program. You do amazing things, and I'm honored to have you on the program. That's our show, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank our guest, Jim Campilongo. Set mind to purpose and visit Jim Campilongo at JimCampilongo.com. Go forth and purchase every piece of music he has ever written. We'd also like to thank our sponsors, Music Connection Magazine. Visit them at musicconnection.com. Also, True Tone Music. Visit them at truetonemusic.com, making your music come to life. And last but not least, Mojave Ampworks. Visit the Oasis of Tone at mojaveampworks.com. Want to become a sponsor? You can. Email me at oscarsguitarshop@gmail.com. Tune in next week when we'll have Battle of the Dio Guitarists. Craig Goldie versus Vivian Campbell. Two guitarists enter the cage, but only one will walk away in tune. Take care of yourselves. Be nice to each other. See you next week. Same bat time. Same bat channel.